Advil just in case?
Yeah, you want to grab some?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, while she grabs Advil, I'm gonna start up the vlog. Good morning, vlog. How's everyone doing? Zach Metz here, back at again for another vlog. Bye, Allison.
Bye.
We're gonna head back out to Boston. We're gonna be in Salem, and we're gonna be out there all day. We're gonna be checking out some witch tours where they had supposedly a large amount of witches out there, and we're going to learn all about that. So it's going to be interesting. So we're going to be spending the day out in Salem. We're heading out right now. It's about 10. Our tour is at 6, so we're going to be out there all day. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm going to vlog the whole time, so pretty excited. We planned our whole time out here, but yeah, like I said, the second day, first day we went to go see a Boston Red Sox game, which they lost to the Pirates. But oh well, it's a good thing we're Phillies fans. So she's got her Advil, she's got her drugs, and now we're ready to go. Alright, we'll see you guys there.
Welcome to another day in the life of
Alright, we're here in Salem, Massachusetts. I'm a witch.
You gotta speak up. Speak up.
I'm a witch.
I don't know. Yeah, we're out in Salem. We just got here. Why don't we check out the street right in front of us? It looks pretty nice.
Look at that old church thing.
Yeah. A lot of old stuff here.
Super old. Ready?
Yep. So like I said earlier, we got a tour coming up at 6. It's a little ghost tour.
Yeah.
Ghost witch tour, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna see, I don't know, what I'm really looking for is just older buildings that are still here. So I know there's a couple breweries. Tomorrow we're doing a brewery thing, so I kind of want to save it, but if we go to one, it won't hurt.
Yeah, what's one?
Yeah. And then what's one adds up into like 5. So,
That's usually how it
we'll
goes.
check it out. I mean, we got 6 hours until the tour, so we got a lot of time. So we're gonna find a coffee spot, and then we're gonna have some lunch somewhere, and then, you know, if we see anything cool, I'll film it. Yeah, sounds good.
1692. Many of the accused were imprisoned here. One of them, the H. Giles Corey, was pressed to death on these grounds.
Yeah, so I think they hold them here and kind of show the public. Like, that's what these are for. So they shut it, and then they lock it, and then they'll show the public like that they found someone who's a witch. Pretty interesting. Go ahead, yeah, I know you want to do it. And look, we found one right now. But I was just looking at this old building. Like, I'm really trying to look for those older buildings that are still around. Oh, she's taking a picture. Oh yeah, and I got the damn Boston song stuck in my head. I think I'll go to Boston. Yeah, Allison's sister told us about the song, so now I got it stuck in my head the whole time. Yep. Hello.
Let's get spooky.
So we're in a very old cemetery. We were just reading a headstone that had, what was it, 1748. The cemetery was established in 1692. No, I think it was 37.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, these headstones are very, very, very old. I don't see them right now, but on the back of some of them, I guess the stone cracked. You see how there's like screws right there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's screws right on the back of some of them. I have like a metal plate. Hold it together because I think it cracked.
I always thought that you could just pick up the rock and you could just look inside.
Part of me wants to say it's I want to say marble, but I'm not 100% sure. Not granite? Like maybe it's granite. No, yeah, they're like super heavy. But my thing is, what? How do you not know there's any under the street? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I mean there could be. I mean, if maybe there was like a large pile. Like I think back in the day, people didn't really have any money. They had just like a large grave of just people buried. Just crazy. Melanie and I did my sister. We did a ghost tour in Charlotte, North Carolina. And there's a cemetery in the middle of the city. And they said that when they were, because if they were trying to build up the city to make it more popular, and when they were tearing down buildings, in the bottom of it, they found like unmarked bodies that they just put into the cemetery, and just like there's bodies on bodies there, which was crazy. Yeah. Even just walking through here, I'm getting like an eerie feeling. I don't know if it's because it's like. Well, we're gonna do a ghost tour tonight. Yeah, so. We're doing a ghost tour tonight, so that's super exciting. I don't really like scary stuff. Well, we could do it during the day, but I thought at night would be cooler. Yeah. Well, here's a little map. And then also, there's a very old building here. I don't know if it has anything related to the cemetery, but it's right next to it. And there's also a little shack over there. I thought it was like for babies. So it's just a bunch of headstones over here. What does that say? 17? The one looks weird. You see that? Yeah. Like 1772. But we were just looking at this tree. This tree's really old. Look at that. There's a headstone behind it. Yeah, I know. There's a bunch of headstones behind it. Zacchus Spartan. 25 years of age. No, wait. Is that... Yeah, I think it says 25 years. Creepy yet? A little bit? Very creepy. Oh, look. This one has the metal I was telling you about. Like it's cracked and they put metal behind it to hold it in. Super creepy. Look at this old tree. Actually, a lot of the trees are very old. It looks like a giant spider. Yeah. It is. Look how big this headstone is. Oh, it's tall too. I know. Look, and that's the old stuff right there too, the old buildings. Yeah. Go back to the town hall and hold that in. Yeah. Very creepy, eerie feeling. So we just walked in this building. It's very old. The person's house inside. Yeah. We'll get the outside in a second, but I just gotta watch my head anyway. The burying spot we just saw, 1637. That's the burying spot? Yep. 1637 is when it started. Yeah, so we're in the Pickman house. One of the oldest structures in Salem, 1672. I'm just amazed at how small the doorways are. Like, look at that. I have to like crawl. So this is the Pickman house that we were just in. That was so cool. Samuel Pickman's house. Very cool. So this is one of the oldest structures in Salem. Wow. This whole street is very nice. So I know I got Town Hall on the shot a little earlier, but here it is. Another very old building. Still active. We were just talking to a security guard and she was telling us all about it. And it's a historical building, so they can't really do much to it, but I just did B-roll of this alleyway. Everything's just so old and cool and bricky. Cool and bricky. Very, very nice building right behind us. Very nice. All right, let's keep going. Adventure awaits. So right there, that house is the witch house. It's a very old building. We were reading up on it. There's a little, it's actually over there. There's a little info center. I think it said 1640 something. I don't know, it's really old. There's probably more information when we get across the street about it, but Yeah, it's just this little black house. All right.
Entrance is for the gift shop in the back.
Oh. Well, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, there's a little sign, 1642. So that wasn't too far off. Restored by Historic Salem in 1946. Wow. I just feel like you look at these giant, like, not like giant, but like these old buildings, and you look at it like a city and it's like so out of place. Little kitty right here. Oh, he working. He on break right now. He on break. He's sleeping. He's such a good kitty.
This was like their 300-year gift.
Oh, nice. For what?
I don't know.
Oh,
You
okay.
see how it says
Yeah, 1626 to 1926. Yeah. We were walking and Allison was like, "Oh, I wish I could find the what was it called? The Salem Common. Is that what it's called?"
Salem Commons, yeah.
And we just walk a little further and I was like, "Well, there's a park right there and this is it." I was like, "You spoke it into existence." It's even cool just to like look around the park at like all the old houses and all the old buildings. Like, it looks like an old church of some sort. It's very interesting. Like, this is a very like old historic town. It's very interesting. Yes. All right, well, I want to go in there.
Where? Can we go in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, guys. She found a brewery.
It's this way.
She found a brewery.
Oh, it's kind of like far down.
I know. There's not a lot of breweries around here, or that we've seen.
Yeah, right? Not
Yeah.
that we've
Oh, this is so cool. It looks all old and rustic. Notch.
seen. Yeah, pretty building.
Notch Brewing. Oh, look at that blue house.
Yeah. We haven't even gone over there.
I know.
We can go
There's an old house all the way over there.
We can go over there afterwards.
Yeah, we could. Let's check out Notch. Notch Brewing. All right, Allison, what'd you get?
Got a lager lemonade.
Yeah, she got a lager lemonade, and then I got the Pilsner. Not bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's good.
This tastes so good.
You want to try mine?
I knew you did.
I look good with the mustache, right? Allison doesn't like when I grow out my mustache.
Like my butter.
Wow, yours really does taste like a lemonade. She wasn't joking. Yeah, mine tastes more like a beer.
Yours is
Good. Look at this. It says Boston Dynamics. Little police force robot. Man, I was kind of hoping to see this ship, but they covered it up for the season. Those damn bastards. Yeah, Friendship of Salem, that's what it's called. And there's the front of the ship. Looks like a woman holding flowers. Alright.
Except for poop.
Uh-oh. Landmines. There's a bunch of landmines out here. Landmine Central. Alright. We made it to a very small lighthouse. Derby Wharf Light Station. Oh look. It's a little crab's body.
He lives in there.
No, I think he's dead. 1871. Oh, nice. Then we got this nice view. Oh look, you can see the water. Or not the water, the bottom right there. It's very shallow. Must be low.
Oh, look, you can see the water.
Yeah, I know what I said. I had a long day, all right? Look at this.
Are they worth it though?
Yes.
Lots of things to do and see.
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. Yeah, nice view. Nice view of everything. Woo!
Oh, is that ducky out there?
Something. Alright, well, we got to see the little lighthouse. It's funny, we were at the brewery and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, it'd be pretty cool to see, and now we're here. So, alright, we're gonna head back. It's almost time for ghosty time.
Are you scared?
Boo! Yes, it's 5 o'clock right now.
Are you scared?
Very scared.
A little bit, honestly.
You get a nice view of the town. Yeah, I'm really not that scared. Booga booga booga.
I'm gonna make sure you get scared.
Alright, we're gonna walk back and I'm gonna tell you what that black building is. So there was a sign on it.
Look at how low.
Sail loft.
How shallow it is.
I know, it's very low
Is the
tide right
boat
now.
Stuck in the
Yeah,
sand?
probably. Alright, well that was the Friendship, or the yeah, I did. That is the Friendship boat of Salem, and then the loft, the sail loft. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice spot. Oh yeah, and the lighthouse. Can't forget about that. It's a creepy looking witch.
Salem has at this point over 500 of them across the entire city, and they tell you that this is a historical building, of course. It will always give you at least a name and a year, but this one gives you an example of everything you could see. You can sometimes also get who it was built by, what they both did for a living, and then always you will get the year. Owned by the Peabody Essex Museum. They did not want a camera crew in here clunking around and breaking stuff, so they filmed up to the front door for Hocus Pocus, then cut to a sound stage for the inside. Because this was built in about 1727 for a merchant family called the Bernards. They lived in it for a little while before it was bought by Nathaniel Ropes Jr. in the 1760s. He was a royalist judge, and what that means is that he was loyal to the British Crown in revolutionary Massachusetts. How well do you think that went over with his patriot neighbors? Not so well, actually. By 1774, this man was in his 80s, and in March he was dying upstairs of smallpox when a mob showed up throwing rocks, sticks, and mud at his home, demanding that he renounce his loyalty to the crown. He just died the next day of smallpox. The property went through his family for a few generations before later being willed to a local historical society, then given to the PEM, where you can now tour it as a museum today. Leaving behind a home he had built slightly larger than he needed, so he had extra rooms to rent out to travelers. And the property keeps that theme throughout its history. Later on, it would be owned by other families, and eventually as an inn and tavern, it was known as the Joshua Ward Home. But in the late 1700s, you remember the American Revolution, my friends? Well, we elect a very important man after that time. We elect George Washington as our first president, and he's going to tour the new U.S., getting support for his government, where he stops in Salem, of course. On the second floor, on the right-hand side, you're going to see two windows that lead to the Washington Suite, which is the room that Washington stayed in, of course, when he stayed overnight in Salem. But it's only one of two connections to our first president, because you gotta cash in on that clout as quickly as you can. This used to be called School Street. That sign clearly says Washington. I can say words today. Throughout the history of the property, though, it's been in the hands of several different families. And then if you go all the way back to the 1600s, well, Joshua Ward had to purchase the property from somebody, right? Well, it was really cheap, and he was wondering in the back of his mind, dang, why is it so cheap? Not that I'm gonna complain. Well, it's because it was owned by an interesting person in the 1600s after he inherited one of the largest Puritan fortunes of his generation. George Corwin built a home on that small hill where he would get most of his reputation as the Strangler. Call your sheriff something like that, right? Well, we had two. One, you'll never guess what his favorite interrogation method was. But you're not going to get many answers if you cut off somebody's airway, George. Not that I'm qualified to tell you how to do your job. The second is what occurred in his basement. While he was our sheriff, it was suspected that George was responsible for many missing persons cases in town. Because of his wealth and status, nobody could touch him. Jonathan did a good job protecting his family, but after he died, George was so detested by the community, that they told his family, you may not bury him in Salem Cemetery. In fact, if you try to bury him on your family plot, here's what we're going to do. We're going to dig him up, rip him limb from limb, and parade his body across Salem for all to see, where we will then chuck him in the harbor like we do with all other things in Boston we don't like so much. And his family says, okay, got it. And they hide his body on the property, where it is later found by Joshua Ward's construction team. Wonder why that home was so cheap, George? Was it the body in the walls? They recover George Corwin's remains, bury him in Broad Street Cemetery, and conduct further investigation on the properties to see what they can turn up from the witch trials era, where they find in the basement cages, shackles, and torture devices, all alongside the remains of a number of his victims. Because of this evidence, we believe George Corwin to be one of the first few serial killers in Massachusetts history, and estimate his victim count to be at 9 or 10. 3 to 5 were thought to be small children. So, like, of course his community hated him. Why wouldn't you? But why is the property haunted? From here you can see the brick building and part of the federal-style foundation on the bottom. Guests of the Merchant have reported feeling strange, like a strange feeling of uneasiness up on the second floor. They wake up feeling as if the air is gone from their lungs, and some of my guests from last week said that her daughter sat bolt upright in bed very early in the morning and just started screaming until she could wake her up. So guests can report all sorts of things happening at the Merchant, but they don't allow paranormal investigation, unfortunately. And you will see all of their names here. Starting on the left, it's these benches start with Bridget Bishop. You see all the benches set into the walls? There's going to be one for every official victim. It has their name, date of execution, and method of execution carved upon it. Please treat these like you would headstones. As we discussed earlier, most of the victims were not given a formal burial, so they are benches and you can sit on them, but I would just ask that you treat this memorial with the same respect you would a graveyard. Speaking of burial grounds, the one that we walked past that's directly next to the trial memorial is Charter Street Cemetery. It is the 3rd oldest burial ground in New England, and it is the oldest one in Salem. So there are some pretty important people buried there, which will include Jonathan Hathorne, known as the hanging judge because he just kind of enjoyed his job a little bit too much. You may not know John Hathorne, but you probably know Nathaniel Hawthorne, his descendant. Nathaniel Hawthorne, though, changed his last name to distance himself from this witch trials connection, but you're gonna have to do better than a W, Nathaniel. Like, come on, that is way too easy to figure out. But because of the fact that people like Hathorne are buried in that cemetery, that is why the back wall of the memorial has an open fence. It forces people like that to look upon this memorial year after year and watch as millions of people pay respect to their victims and pay little to no mind to them.
Alrighty. Alright guys, well that concludes the day at Salem.
Did you get some of the tour?
I did. I got some of it. Yeah, it's a fun day.
That was awesome.
Would definitely suggest to come here. It's a really great spot. A lot of historical houses. Very old town.
You can walk everywhere.
Yep.
A lot of walking, so bring walking shoes.
You definitely gotta do
It's the Witch
tours.
City walking tours was the one that we did.
Yes.
And we had Michaela, and she was awesome.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah, like definitely gotta check it out. Really fun time. You learn a lot. If you like history, definitely come. If you don't like history, still come. Just a really fun time. I keep telling Allison, like I think we got our fulfillment here. Like if I end up never coming back here, I'd be fine with that because I would say we were here the whole time. I think we spent at least 8 hours here.
Yeah, we were here for a long time. We
literally walked everywhere. It was really fun, man. I got a fart. Oh, whew, that was juicy. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna close out. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing some brewery hopping in Boston.
Big day tomorrow.
Big day tomorrow, another one. So I'm gonna go home, pass the fuck out, and then wake up and do it all again. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye. I love you. Have a good one.
Welcome to another day in the life of
I'm a witch.
You guys speak up. You guys speak up.
I'm a witch.